Hey doctors, Dr. Minecraft here. Welcome back to another video. Where today I am back with another history of UST. Now for those of you who haven't seen part 1, this is about pretty much my adventures of pretty much running the Empire of UST, the Intalking AI, with pretty much Tanya to Khrushchev. Anyways, let's get to it. Now where we last left off, had been 18 months since UST was founded. And I'm sorry about that, guys, but however, my mother was just trying to figure out. Anyways, where we left off, it had been 18 months since UST was founded. In that time, pretty much, me and Tanya had pretty much 2 children, both daughters. The first one was First Princess Mary, named after the goddess who reincarnated me into the Psychotonian evil world, Mary Schmidt, and who I, in real life, worship. Second one was pretty much one that Tanya pretty much named. Second Princess Tanya. We are going to be waiting for a third child, and you'll find out later on. In fact, thing is, when me and Tanya had our second child, publicly, Tanya went into a coma. And I'm not going to go any farther than that. Anyways, stuff happened, and UST pretty much went on strong, waiting for pretty much it to happen. In fact, the thing is, the threat of Hispania and the Federation invading UST drew closer and grew more worrisome as pretty much days passed by. Now, although was at the time, before the war broke out, willing to send troops if the Federation attacked, but not going to commit to an alliance just yet. And Magna pretty much Romelli had agreed to send naval support, but they were not going to do anything until the Federation attacked. And yeah, you'll find out later about my skepticism about those 2 nations. As days passed, the Federation was still gathering troops on their side of our border, but haven't made any moves towards us just yet at the time. Hispania have also done the same, but I have not moved into position to invade. Things pretty much were like that, with me pretty much visiting pretty much high command off and on, so what you could say, for pretty much, for the moment to find out how it happened. Days went by and it flew into months. And then eventually, 1 month and 12 days after Tanya went into a coma, High Command gave me news that would change things. The Federation and Hispania invaded, and so the European War began. At first, we were losing, as Hispania and the Federation were pushing our forces back. But however, we eventually pushed them back as well. The Federation in front was a bit of a standstill, but we were pushing hard on the Hispania side. In fact, thing is it had a long way to go at that way, but however, we were pushing hard on mainly on the Hispania front. It was the Federation front as not making much advances to the east. But our civil forces were able to hold them back. In fact, thing is, things pretty much progressing somewhat fast and ish, like you could say. In fact, thing is, the war progressed quite quickly, you could say, because in only a month and 7 days since war first broke out, we almost reached both nations' capitals, which sounded good. We kept pushing and pushing and pushing. We pushed harder and harder and harder. We pushed for the nations to surrender. We pushed hard to enemy territory. In fact, along the way, we pretty much had our pretty much military in Expagna and Federation territories to gather pretty much resources to keep on advancing, while not pretty much having the pretty much residents of those places we were crossing into upset. Not even that, but however, we're 3 months and 1 day into pretty much the war. We took one of the two nations' capitals. That was Expagna's capital. In fact, we were also pushing back the Federation, but we were getting closer to their capital as well. We kept pushing hard, and then 4 days later, we reached both capitals. That's right, 3 months and 6 days since the Federation we invaded, since the war began. We reached both capitals in 3 months and 6 days, with a difference of taking in pretty much the Federation capital after Expagna's capital being 5 days. Sorry, I miscalculated that one. But the war not laying up, and we kept fighting. We fought hard and hard and hard, pushing each back during the supplies, till the unexpected happened. Alexpegna Magna had not pretty much surrendered, but we were still making progress pushing back. And then, 5 months and 3 days after the war began, I was informed by High Command of great news. The Federation surrendered. And as such, I told them to temporarily occupy the Federation till the war is over, and relocate the troops to push hard into Expagna territory. They agreed. And they agreed. In fact, reports from High Command that for some reason had almost been leaked to public was that after hearing that the Federation surrendered, I bolted it from pretty much High Command to pretty much the hospital room where Tanya was. And surprisingly, the same day the Federation surrendered, Tanya woke up from her coma. It's odd that essentially she was in coma for that long and woke up exactly pretty much the day the Federation surrendered. In High Command and in the palace, this led to rumors speculating that Tanya wasn't in a coma, but instead died from childbirth. In fact, this has maybe been something that could be the case, but the hospital and what's publicly available is that the Empress Tanya was in a coma. In fact, the rumors that she pretty much died from childbirth says that I somehow made an agreement with Mary Schmidt, where if one of the two nations that we were at war with in this European war would surrender, then Tanya would come back to life. However, this rumor has not been confirmed. In fact, Tanya would end up struggling from pretty much the fact that she was in a coma for essentially over like 6 months, half a year. And because of that, when she got out of hospital bed, she pretty much needed my assistance. During the Restoration War, she would use pretty much a cane to walk around till her legs got back to what they used to be. Kept pushing hard on the Hispanic front, trying to get them to surrender. In fact, during this time, High Command would just call us over for stuff that we already knew. Got to the point where I got annoyed. When High Command called us down, I would get a bit upset. Until 11 months and 3 days since the war began. High Command phoned us. I got time to answer it. See, I was High Command. I asked her to ask High Command, and was about essentially what they have to say. Tanya looked at me and seemed a little surprised. But she smiled somewhat. Potentially, she smiled. She said, and I quote, "They're saying that Expagna has agreed to surrender. They want to know when we'll be able to sign the treaty." That's right. 11 months and 3 days after the war began, Expagna surrendered, ending the European War. And I informed pretty much told Tanya to inform Expagna and the Federation that pretty much we will that we can have the treaty signed today until we put in place. Diplomats from Expagna and Federation met with us. The terms were drew up. One of the main things was that pretty much Expagna and Federation had to pretty much pay reparations to us UST for pretty much damages. I'm not sure if I include damages when referring to it, but however, they have to pay reparations. But even that, during the war, I found out something horrible. While the Federation death camps were true, what they were also holding made me upset and angry. The Federation had USCN citizens in the death camps. As part of the treaty, the Federation had to hand over the USCN citizens. In fact, the death camps I had made public. There was nowhere for the Federation to hide when it came to the death camps. In fact, currently, I can confirm that the Federation is going through on this, with USCN soldiers being pretty much given back. But Expagna and the Federation would not just have to pay reparations as punishment for invading us. Instead, they had to give up territory. And here is pretty much the drafted map of pretty much the territory that we would have to gain. As I said, as part of the treaty, all the territory of Espagna and the Federation that is pretty much within the blue line has to be handed over to and absorbed into the nation UST. Espagna and Federation agreed to it, and so both nations signed a treaty, and the European War was over in a USTian victory. But however, it's not exactly over yet. You see, the day after we found out that pretty much Spagna and the Federation surrendered, something wasn't right. And I realized something wasn't right the day that pretty much we signed the treaty and the war was over. You see, Ildoa and Magna agreed to help us out. But however, as High Command confirmed to me, Ildoa and Magna didn't. This European war was won directly by UST. Ildoa and Magna did not reap the rewards. This was a bit suspicious. In fact, the day after the war ended, I talked to High Command. We found something out. The Federation and Espagna have been in contact with Ildoa and Magna, and they're planning to form an alliance. According to High Command, they're forming this alliance because they are worried about us. That we're essentially becoming, I believe High Command says that pretty much evil, greedy, pretty much people who pretty much want to rule by power. But that's not the case. We are nothing like the expansionist this royal family that came before us. We are not like our evil empire forefathers that want to expand and conquer the world. That's not what we desire. We desire peace, and we like peace. The European war we fought in because we were being invaded. It's every country's right to defend itself from foreign invaders invading their land. In fact, as I talked to Tanya, I repeat, the first the Great War could begin. And the thing is, as I say this, it's most likely that World War II will happen. But UST might not do it alone. We have pretty much allies that would want to help us. Like the Achaemenid Dominion, the Allied Kingdom, the Unified States, and the Turkmen Principalities. These nations have agreed would pretty much want to help us out. And I told High Command to tell them that I promise pretty much tax cuts on imports. So, will this be filled out? I don't know. As the time I'm making this, tomorrow I will find out. But what you need to know is that UST is a nation that does not back down to a bully. If we're being invaded, we will fight back. And we will do so victorious. As Tanya said in the saga of Tanya the Evil, Imperial mages is go to pretty much great lengths, conquer lengths, even pretty much goes to purgatory and conquers it. As such, to protect our sovereignty, UST must fight back against any nation that dares to threaten our sovereignty. Will we succeed? Would we perhaps do an America and the Federation? Well, you'll find out next time when possibly World War II happens and ends. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when I make new videos. Stay tuned for when I make an announcement of whether we win World War II or not. Have a good day. Bye.